that will be fine, and then it will be safe there. And then when, yes, and I apologize.
It was very beautiful.
It's very, very beautiful. I think the presence of everyone made it beautiful.
And we couldn't stay for lunch because there was in the evening again we had to go.
And you're getting ready for your travels?
Yes, every day I tell myself we have to get ready and then nothing moves.
I forget when you depart
Sunday
for India. Sunday 16th of this month?
This month, and I told you the flight is at 5:20 in the morning.
Yes.
And that means actually it is the 15th because we can't drive.
So maybe you'll be less getting back so I hope it was a miracle this time. When we went to Turkey, we didn't get jet lag. When we went there and when we came back, as though nothing happened.
Even Satmara.
Even Satmara. Because our arrival time was perfect. We arrived both places around 5:30 in the evening.
Okay.
So we went to bed. Yeah. When we went to bed, sleep. Yes. It's like a miracle, you guys.
Otherwise, a couple of days at home.
Sometimes coming back is
especially for the kids because they don't know that they get drowsy and not happy.
because for me, I hope it will go like this.
I hope so too. We are going to have a layover in Taiwan. Yeah, and so it will be, we reach there at 6:30 in the evening. We are going to sleep in a hotel.
Very good idea.
Yes.
Yes.
Next month, and then we are on our way. We are stopping in a few places like Cambodia and
Yes, we see the old Hindu shrine temples. But they are not, what's the word, live?
No.
They are not used to.
Heritage site.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not active.
No, not active. Yes.
So
It will be there.
you can show us pictures when we come back.
We will.
We can have a slideshow. Okay.
Rama. Sri Rama. Dates. These are nice. These are still growing. How are you?
Very relieved.
Good.
It was all very wonderful.
Wonderful.
They separated themselves from the pot for the
For the
shrine.
Yes. Yeah, bring it on. Here we go. Thank you. See? Already it's not even 10 o'clock. I have gathered myself a nice stash of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Some water. And put this, it will stay. Some of these may also open. Namaha. Sri Rama. Let's see what happens. In Dindima. Huh?
It's really done. Really finished.
Well, 20 more verses, perhaps. We are on 75 now. Yeah, I think it goes up till 94 or something.
Yeah, we just started 75 last time because I made a note about it.
Om Sahana Bhavatu वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Yeah. So in 74 we saw that this life is useless. When is it useless?
When we identify.
When you don't know. Avijñāte. Look at the verse. Avijñāte. Jnāte in knowing, and vijñāte in knowing properly. Avijñāte in not knowing at all. What happens? In not knowing properly, not knowing at all, what happens? Janma nashtam. Nashtam means gone to the dogs. Yes. Instead of the life going to God, it goes to dog. This is what the whole thing is. Jnāte sarthakam. Only when you know it is useful, and this is going to be iterated again later on in 79. And then it says that therefore there is a certain, impending reason to know this. And that, flows, even though from 75 there is a slightly different topic and it is getting more sophisticated, the argument, because we are talking about transcending the Namarupas, the sights, sounds and all the things that we encounter with our senses. We are transcending that in order to see the truth of Brahman. So that is how it's going to go on a slightly different tangent. But however, it flows into the next verse, because the imminence of needing to understand Brahman was talked about. And that could be a daunting prospect. Somebody could think, I'm already 92, and half the time, I don't remember my own name, barely. So it's going to be very difficult. And somebody else thinks, I have a job. I'm young, but I have a job. See, this is why. You shouldn't wait to retire to know this, because, you should know this at any given time. So somebody else may say, okay, I'm young, I have memory, I have everything, I have Shakti in the body, but my job is so exacting that I go home, at 10 o'clock at night. So when am I going to study this? So therefore I cannot study this. This is too much to understand. All these things you have to know, and so many pedagogies, Anvaya Vyatireka, what is that? And then, Karana, Karya, Karana, Prakriya, this Prakriya, that Prakriya, what on earth are these Prakriyas? Prakriyas means teaching method, pedagogies. The various pedagogies through which this is communicated, I have to know. How am I going to know all this? Iti, and somebody can get disenchanted. The third one can say that, I have free time, I have strength, I have memory, I have intelligence, everything is fit. But then what? I have also Duryodhana syndrome. What is it? Just don't feel like studying. What do you feel like doing then? Just useless things, adharmic things. Because the person is steeped in the juices of wrongdoing, this kind of a thing will not even, appeal to the person. In the Dakshinamurti 108 names, Chalajati Adi Duragaya Namaha. So my namaskars unto that Murti of knowledge, unto that in Dakshinamurti means the incarnation of knowledge, unto that incarnation of knowledge, who is what? Chala. Chala means the defrauders, not cha. Chala. Chala means that the people who are who will say, oh look, there is a flying saucer, and when you look, after that what has actually flown is your wallet into their hands. These are the chala people. Chala jati means from this kind of species. Jati is a species. Duragaha means the person who runs away. Duram gacchati iti duragaha. The person who goes far away from the person here is knowledge. The knowledge that does not at all appeal to these kinds of people. So this is one more reason why the person may not, come to the thing. But usually the main reason why the person will not take to this knowledge is because there is a feeling of dauntingness. Usually I don't have time. I can't make the time. I work full time. I mean, come on. If I have an hour or a few hours a week, I want to, do other things. Why would I do this? Because this is hard. I have to pay attention. If I just go like this, what is this? Remote. So everybody just goes like this. Yeah, or like this. That is something else. This is not playing the kalimba. This is This is not the kalimba, even though that is also played like that, a plucking small handheld African instrument. This is the what is that? Texting. Video games and texting. Yeah. And this. Why? Because why is it called remote? Because it keeps you remote from the knowledge. That is why it is called remote. Dura in Sanskrit. Very remote. Because the knowledge is very remote. Why? And not that people don't want to know this. They want to know this. In fact, this is all they want. But it seems like a waste of time. What? People just come and sit and listen to this. Don't you get bored? What is this? Why do I have to do this? And some of them, these bhashya classes on top of that, all this Sanskrit and all this. For what? What am I going to get out of this? So there is this, the mumukshutvam has not become paripakva. The mumukshutvam, when you put on a paripakva, means cooked. So mumukshutvam has to be put on the stove and boiled in order to become jijñāsatvam. Yeah, in order to become jijñāsa. What is jijñāsa? Desire to know. Mumuksha, desire to be free. Everyone wants to be free. But the connection between knowledge and freedom is not made in most minds. They just think that, if I just do very, blow hard through the pranayama, through pranayama, I will get moksha. Well, how long have you been doing pranayama? 25 years. But then how come you have not got moksha yet? If you ask them, they'll say, just because my sinuses are always blocked. So pranayama, instead of that, they say the breath has to be long, deep and silent. It is anything but that. The breath is neither long nor is it deep. Forget silence. So it's not pranayama, it's sniffayama, because all these sniffles are coming. So sniffalayama, I'm doing that, so I'm not getting moksha. Action doesn't lead to moksha, because action can only give. And this we'll see, we are, fixing to see this in the Mundaka Bhashya, in the next time when it meets. So action does not lead to moksha. Moksha is already you. So no amount of ayasa, effort, especially the kind of effort that makes you sick and tired afterwards, is not going to cut it. So, but the people are doers. They just keep wanting to do something or the other. And where they should put the attention, they don't want to do that. So action cannot lead to moksha, because moksha is already attained. It is not something to attain. Action can help when it is something to attain. Like pranayama, they had pranayama in ancient days. They don't have it anymore, because in between then and now, people invented the paper bag. So then when anybody is anxious, you just breathe into paper bag. You don't need this long, deep, all these, what is that, alternate nostril. That bhastrika is a paper bag breathing. Yeah, without the paper bag. There is one bhastrika. You basically make your stomach concave. you know, if that is possible, and then you breathe, and then you hold the breath, and then all these things, you know, don't try it without a guide. And anyway, so this is all, in olden days they had to immediately relieve the stress and calm the mind. There was a lot of, in ancient times, a lot of emphasis on relieving stress and calming the mind. Why? So that the priorities are straight, so that I know what I have to do, so that I know where I need to go, so that I know where my life is headed, so that I can see the difference between something that needs to be attained and something that is already attained, so that I have the free time to not feel daunted for the sake of this knowledge. All those were preparatory things. And now, if the mind is calm, and if one is not always nervously going from one appointment to another, the 75th verse will speak to the person. You know, he says, let us chant it first. Dashamasya parijnane Naya sosti yatha tatha Swasya brahmatma vijnane This shows we have not met for 2 months. Kya baat hai? Yeah. You also note that whenever, you know, there is no visarga, that doesn't mean it's always jnana. If it's followed by ikara or ukara, usually it is a. Yeah. This is a sandhi, elision. So that is what the whole thing is. So, dashamasya parijnane. Parijnane means this is the wonderful story which we, I'm sure, talked about last time. The boating expedition of the 10 brahmacharis. We all know what happened. What happened? One of them got lost. Really? No, as though. And, you know, and they had done so much pushing each other out of the boat. You know, because boys will be boys. And this is what they did to have fun. And they just pushed each other and everything. And then the leader of them, the one who had in fact arranged for this expedition, even though the Guru said, sit and chant the Vedas when I am gone, don't go for boating expedition. He said, no, I'll take, because the doership hadn't gone. He said, I'll take the responsibility, I'll corral all of them. Because this was the sheepdog buddhi from last life coming. Sheepdog means it just, you know, even if it sees 5 people together, it will corral all of them together. That's what it does. So he had that same buddhi. He felt very qualified to do this. And he said, I'm just taking everybody. I'm going. Okay, go. You know. And then he went. And then he's counting at the end, just before the last boat ride, just to make sure. Because crossing the river, there is the ashram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God. And you know, and if the leader is so bright, imagine the followers. So each and so each one counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And everybody is weeping in a circle. You know, instead of going back, it is becoming a support group, a memorial for the missing brahmachari, and on the spot, mourning ceremony for the missing brahmachari. And you know, and then what? You know, they are crying, they are weeping, they are looking all around, you know, and one of them says, I will rub 2 sticks together, because it was already, night was falling, and then have a torch and a firebrand torch, and go into the woods and, you know, call out, because they don't even know the name of this one. What will they call out? Bho, brahmacharin, they can say. So I'll go into the woods. One of them goes, you know, and the other one says, no. Then if you go, we'll become 8. Come back soon. Don't go far. Already one is missing. this day is not going well. And the other one says, I'm going to climb on this hillock, on these stones, there were some big rocks. I'm going to climb on the rocks and look to see if there is any lost looking fellow meandering down, grazing on some grass there. So let us see if he's there. And the third one says, you all do that. I'm going to do japa. So that he comes back. Correct? And the fourth one, the leader says, no, I can't do anything. I just have to be right here just in case he comes. Because I have to greet him and then I have to scold him. Why did you go? So I have already, decided what to say to him. Useless fellow, making us all wait. And so each one takes on a certain task, volunteers for a certain task. And the seventh one who's very, fond of the missing brahmachari, although we don't know who is missing, but he's fond of all of his classmates. And what does he say? He says, give me a little bit of that torch, I'll boil some water, and so he can have some nice hot water, when he comes. So this way everybody is occupied with something or the other. Then what happens? Who comes? Not the missing brahmachari. The holy, passing holy man comes. And then the leader laments, this is what has happened. And then by the time the torch wala has come back, the cooking wala has come back, the hillock wala has come back, all of them have come back. They are all tired. Ayasa, effort, oh my God. And effort, especially if you get something out of the effort, wow, that is good, right? If you get something out of the effort, then you feel good even though you feel tired. But then if you feel tired and the whole effort has been a failure, then in fact the tiredness increases by leaps and bounds. So you have all these sad sack, fatigued brahmacharis standing, and then he makes them stand in a line and counts all of them, and he says, what? You forgot to count yourself. Then he says, each one of you forgot to count yourself. And then he goes away, and then all of them, the morning sabha, shoka sabha. Shoka means sorrow. Sabha, assembly. The sorrowful assembly becomes what? Ananda sabha. An assembly of, rejoicing assembly. And everybody is just, jumping for joy. And then, they will, so then they all decide to go back. And the leader, says, next time I'm not going to volunteer for these kinds of things. I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm not going to get myself and others into trouble. Yeah. So now my question is this. This is why, I embellish the story in a particular way, Yeah, those were all my imaginings. And there is a purpose. It's not purposeless. Now my question for you is this. What was the effort in knowing? What was the effort in knowing what? The 10th man, 10th boy.
No effort.
What? Why did I tell such a big story then?
No.
What about that firebrand rubbing sticks together? You try making fire rubbing sticks together. That was effort. That is effortful. And then you try lighting the firebrand and keeping it lit. That is effortful. You try looking in the forest, trampling over all these brambles and everything. It is effortful, it is ayasa, ayasa making. And then you try climbing up a rock and looking for this missing brahmachari. You try making hot tea for the returning brahmachari. All this is very, and you try standing in attention like the leader did to make sure he doesn't miss anything. All this is very effortful. You're all shaking your head, no effort, no effort. What, no effort?
It's self-evident.
Huh?
Self-evident.
Self-evident. So what about all this effort?
Useless.
Yeah. Why was it useless? Because it was not employing the correct means to get this knowledge. Yeah. To get the attained brahmachari, the already attained brahmachari, you don't need to rub sticks or stones together because it's the 10th person. How many people were there? 10th, And the fact that they thought it was 9 was because of ajnanam, not because of lack of looking. Oh, I forgot. The 8th brahmachari put on his snorkels and went underwater to see if he was fallen in the water. Yeah. So he was also very tired. So you see, all of them, they were very, very judicious. They were great students and they were very, very judicious. They all wanted to find the 10th brahmachari. Correct? But they were doing the wrong things to get to the right place. That is why the effort was the efforts of people that are unsuccessful, because the 10th brahmachari, was he to be attained or was he already attained? Already attained. It was a counting problem. An accounting problem. Yeah. So counting problem. Counting means what? You need the brains, correct? Yeah. So it was a cognitive problem, not the problem of putting one, what is that, SOS, and looking for the missing person. So here is the problem, because the 10th brahmachari symbolizes the one and only Atma that is already attained, that is you. And then here what does the person do? Goes in 10 directions looking for this Atma. One of them says, I really want to find this Atma, it has gone missing for too long now. Who is talking? Atma. But not knowing, the person thinks that someone else needs to be found. Or Bhagavan, Atma, Bhagavan, whatever it is. So one of them says, I am going to rub 2 sticks together and then offer it into the fire and put some ghee, and then Bhagavan will appear in the flames. And the other one says, I am going to make laddus for Bhagavan, and then I will offer it. Of course, after that I will only have all of them. So I will count, 108, and after that also should be 108 only should be left. Yeah, this is what it is. And then the 4th one says, I am very sad. Why are you depressed? Because Bhagavan is not showing his face. What will you do? I will compose a sad song. Darshana do ghanashyam nath more, akhiyan pyasi re. My eyes are so thirsty for you. Oh Ghanashyam, oh Krishna, dark as the clouds, you are hiding somewhere. And then what? You are not showing yourself. And they say that you are in every form and every name. But when I see the form, I only see the form. I don't see you. I only see chocolate cake. Swaha. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna in the cake? There is no Krishna in the cake. I only see the cake. And that's it. And then what? I look at the trees. They say, you are in the trees. I look at the trees. I look at the flowers. I only see that thing. And then what? They also say that if we have one glimpse of you, what happens? That Gunga means the person who is mute, cannot speak. Panchama sur me Gunga bole means the person who is the person who is mute starts to sing, in perfect pitch. Yeah, who has never talked before, sings in perfect pitch. And the blind start to see. And the person with only one leg walks all the way to Varanasi because of your grace. But your grace I don't see anywhere. They say all these things. Where are you? So saying, they compose sad songs. And in fact, a lot of groups do this. They just compose longing songs where you sit together with other satsangis, sad sangis, and then cry. That is all it is. And every week they do this. And this is what the problem is. Because they are not looking at the place that should be actually looked at, which is centered on oneself, not centered outside. And so therefore, he says, Dashamasya parijnane, in knowing the 10th fellow. What is there? It is nirayasa. Nirayasena, jnayate. And na ayasosti yatha. Yatha dashamasya parijnane ayasaha nasti. Just as in the knowing in the assimilation of the fact that I am the 10th man. That is the idea. You own yourself up as the Atma, not the 10th man. I am the Atma, just like the 10th man owned himself up. Yes, I had forgotten to count myself. I am the Atma. Then what? Dashamasya parijnane yatha na ayasaha asti. Ayasaha means extreme effort. Like making tea for the missing man, like looking in the forest for the missing man. All these, like going underwater and looking for the missing man. All this ayasa is not there if you look for it properly, if you understand that actually you are already there, you just need to be accounting for yourself. So yatha na ayasaha asti, then tatha swasya brahmatma vijnane api iti Vedanta Dindima. So swasya means your own recognition of what? Brahmatma, that this yourself is Brahman, which your Atma alone is Brahman. Swasya Atmanaha Vijnanam. Swasya Atmanaha Vijnanam. And Swatma Vijnanam. So this Swasya Atmanaha Vijnanam, that Vijnana is what? I am Brahman. That is the Jnana. And in that also likewise, there is no ayasa. So therefore, you cannot say, I don't have time to come for class. I have yet one more thing to do. I have yet so much, things not happening. And how am I going to catch up? Because it is already there. Atma is you. So you cannot say, I don't have time for me. That is a self-loathing statement. If you say, I don't have time for me, that's the saddest statement, really. If you don't have time for you, then you can't have time for anybody else or anything else. So this is what it says. Swasya Atmanaha Vijnanam is that Brahmatma Vijnanam. So Swasya, the word Swasya is important here for emphasis in knowing that one's own nature is Brahman. That one's own Atma. Because you can get up to Tvam Pada Vichara. That is why the word Swasya is given here. Tvam Pada means what? In Tattvam Asi. Tvam Pada Vichara means inquiry into the word you. So how far can you get there? I am the witness. That much you can get. I am not the afflicted one to whom all these things are happening. That is the body, that is the mind, those are the senses to which the afflictions are coming. To which all the troubles are coming. I am free of all troubles. This is the understanding, correct? So this is what the understanding is. And so the inquiry into the word you, even without Shastra, can somehow get you to that place. If Ishvara's, grace is there, you can find yourself even accidentally having some inner space. Like, oh, I'm just making a big deal of this. What Vedanta class? No Vedanta class, but still somehow that grace was there to understand. I'm just making a big deal. This is not really affecting me, And so therefore, this whole thing is very beautiful because we have this much you can gain through what is called an inquiry into who am I, meaning Tattvam Pada, and then you can't really go beyond that without the knowledge. Here, that person with leisure, inner space, inner, freedom, that one who can observe the body, mind, sense complex without getting affected by the stress and the strain of all the roles, that person is Brahman. That person's nature is Brahman. That Brahman alone is Atma. There can be no Atma without being Brahman. This is the knowledge. So you see, that is why the word Swasya is given. The Swa, clinches it completely. When that Swa is there, that means that it's a knowledge that has been owned up. That is the importance of the word Swa here, And so therefore, Vedanta's proclamation is What does Vedanta proclaim? Come one, come all to the Vedanta ball. You have nothing to lose but your ignorance, and you have the wholeness to gain, which is as though gained already, but which is gained already, but to as though gain. And so, therefore, this is, like I said, 75 to onwards, slight change, because we are going to see this whole vision from a more in-depth perspective. It has already been talked about, but more on the surface level. Now it's going to get a little more deeper. Next one. Upekshya upadhikan doshan.
Upekshya upadhikan doshan.
Upekshya upadhikan doshan.
Upekshya upadhikan doshan.
Grihyante vishaya yatha.
Grihyante vishaya yatha.
Upeksha drishyam yad brahma.
Upeksha drishyam yad brahma iti Vedanta Dindima.
Iksha means sight. Upa plus iksha, upeksha, means oversight, meaning you don't look at it, even though it's right there. Upeksha means ignoring, neglecting. So the upasargas, the same, upa, the upasargas are the prefixes, change the meaning of the word. So iksha means looking, upeksha means not looking at all, neglecting, ignoring. Very interesting. So upekshya, having ignored. What shall we ignore? No, all these aupadhikan doshan, all the fallacies of the name and form. So this is a new one in the pot clan. But it wanted to belong to the clan, so it's also cracked, like all of them. So, what are the doshas here? What are the fallacies? You can't see it very clearly, but from where I can see it, it's not very well made. It's bumpy in 2-3 places. It's not properly sanded after coming out of the kiln in the bus stop just before Anaikatti. That is where I purchased it from. I got down on a whim, and there was this lady, on the roadside with all these pots from the biggest size. I said, "Oh, did you make them yourself?" Yes. Where is your kiln? And she showed me right behind. You could see in the distance. It's just all made of bricks and all smoking. You could see. And she said, "It is from there." And then. So then I wanted to buy something smaller than this. She said, no, this size is very good. She picked this. And, then that is how, this has come. So it has a certain form. She herself made this, correct? And then she put it in the kiln. And then after that, it traveled all the way here. And then it was sitting somewhere. And then it was safe for so many years. Then it was sitting on the shelf. And then I thought I'll just take it out of the shelf and bring it downstairs, and it had a fall, not as serious as Humpty Dumpty. That's why we have been able to put it together, correct? So the history of the pot, it has a crack. And then what else? She had this way to mark her stock. So she took one white pencil and put something, this is her branding, She would take some, not even a pencil, I don't know what it was, some kind of a pencil marker. And she just did that because otherwise if somebody steals it and sells it as their own, this was her way of distinguishing it. So that also is a dosha, a fallacy. You can see this, Now you can see, there is this, here is this white line. And so like this, it has so many problems. And here is some other mark, and it's all, not the greatest of pots, very wonderful, use of this little leftover clay. But this is what it is. So if I look at it from pot drishtya, from the standpoint of the pot, this is what these are the things that are becoming evident to me. I am seeing that this is actually doesn't have much use other than a teaching pot. Maybe before it could hold water, now it will come out of wherever the cracks are, the water will also start oozing out. Correct? So from the standpoint of the, from how I look at it as a pot, I am subject to disappointment. Correct? Because it's not living up to the hype, and it's just not doing, all the things that it could do, like even hold a little bit of water, it's not able to do. So this is the pot. That is what? That is a source of disappointment. Correct? Yeah. Whereas, this pot, to me, I'll say, oh, this is so much nicer. Even though this can go inside this fellow eats it up. But still, this one is so much nicer, so much smoother, so much well made, blue glaze. This has got blue blood, aristocratic pot, aristopot. And this has got so much, it's very famous, it's got all these things. But somebody else will, say, no, I prefer the natural look. This one is disappointing. And what is this? Look at this. It looks ridiculous. Come on. You can't do anything at all. So like this, you can have, each one will say, I prefer this pot, I prefer that pot. And then somebody else will say, no, we prefer the American flower pot, our usual one, Yeah. This one is not very happy because this one came. Yeah. It's trying to eat it, but it's not succeeding. And so, they are siblings. And that's why there is a lot of rivalry. So this one also, somebody says, I prefer this, somebody says, I prefer this. So like this, if you look at the upadhayaha, and what happens if you look at the upadhis, you see only limitations. Now let us graduate to looking at the upadhis in the room, correct? Mm-hmm. Then somebody can feel, oh, look at that person, so strong, so young, so full of strength. I've never seen them miss class because they are sick. Me, I'm all the time sick. Somebody can say that. Another person can say, no, the other person is better, or something else is better. And when you look at the upadhis in the world, you move out of the room. Then all the wishful thinking starts. My nose should be like that actor's, and my face should be like someone else. The strength should be like this marathon runner. And then what? The digestive organs should be like someone else. And then all these things. The bones should have the strength of these big dinosaurs. And because they're still there to see. And so this is what it is. We take the upadhis as separate things and see the limitation in one upadhi and the glory of another upadhi. Correct? And likewise also, based on the upadhis is limited, body, mind, sense complexes, including body of pot. Taking the upadhis to be real, what happens? What do? We start, having likes and all kinds of likes and dislikes start coming. And why? Why do they come? Because I don't like this upadhi. In fact, I hate this upadhi. So, what are you going to do? I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to see this person because I don't like this person. The other one, I love. And then what, 6 months later, no, I like the first one. Second one, I don't like anymore. This is what it is. So the upadhis, because they manifest themselves differently with different names and forms, it's easy to take it as one and the same. Yeah. So upadhe, upadhehe, upadhau, bhavam, aupadhikam. That's what it is. Upadhau bhavam aupadhikam. Belonging to the upadhi, arising out of the upadhi is called aupadhikam. So the fallacies arising out of the upadhi. Upadhis, upadhayah. And is the, what is that? Tadhita. Yeah. And is the suffix. So, aupadhikam. And so therefore what? Therefore like this we have so many names and forms. How am I going to look for Brahman? Very difficult. Each and every upadhi has to be falsified. Ayyo Rama, and you said just now it is nirayasa, it has no ayasa, it has no effort, it is so easy. How is this easy? Okay, inanimate things I can deal with pretty much, yeah, unless they are something very big or scary, like tsunami, I can deal with inanimate things, like mountain, they don't pose a problem. Trees, cat, dog, if it's not baring its teeth, all this is fine. But it's the people, my God, so many people, and each one I have to look at Ishvara in each person. This is even I'm not even started, but I'm already tired. I'm already tired. Oh my God! And you said this is effortless. What a lie! And not only that, you said it is effortless in the last mantra. Another lie. Just now, don't think I have forgotten. Okay, 1 month, next month I could have forgotten, but this month only I have done this. How can I forget? And you say it is effortless. Well, it is effortless. Why? Because you are already doing this upeksha in your life. I am? Yes. What's the meaning of upeksha again? Upeksha means, yeah, ignoring the name and form. Yeah. I'm already doing this? Yes. Why? Where? How? With regard to dessert. Yeah. Laddu. What is laddu? Sugar. Barfi. Sugar. Chocolate cake. Sugar. What else? Ice cream. Sugar. Gulab jamun. Sugar. Yeah. So you are a sugar jnani. And when the craving hits, correct? Sugar craving, have to have something sweet now, just now. And you go where? Where do you go?
Sweet life.
You go to sweet life. Sweet life is, that's why it's called. Because you can't buy anything there which doesn't have sugar. Nothing, So you go there. And actually in your head was something. You wanted a particular kind of cake. This being Eugene, they make cake out of tofu, Chocolate mousse cake made out of tofu. Yeah, I've had it. Yeah, so maybe that's what you had in mind when you went there. But they said we are out of it. By the time the craving, after seeing all these things, Ishta Vastu Darshanam, after seeing the desirable things, the craving has upped the ante, and then you have even more craving, correct? And then you say, and already there is, that person at the counter is getting impatient because there's a big line behind you. Okay, so you don't want anything? All right, next. No, give me whatever there is. All we have are these croissants. Little sugar is there, but not too much. Chocolate croissants. Okay, give me that. Give me 2 because that other sweet thing wasn't there. When you buy that, you didn't have to go to the back of the line. Correct? Yes. This is the attitude of a jnani. Not only were you able to see the sugar in the croissant, can you see the sugar in the croissant ever? No, but you saw it miraculously. You transcended all those, that funny rolling shape, all those rolls, you transcended that pastry, flaky pastry. You transcended the chocolate inside. You transcended 5 pounds of butter they put in each croissant. And you went straight through the sugar. And not only that, miraculously, you could even measure the sugar in the croissant. And then what? Measure it in the absent tofu cake which you would have had otherwise. And then saw that it was only half of the amount. So you were even able to buy 2. Look at this. For the sugar jnani, life is so sweet. That's why it's called sweet life. Sweet is the life because you're even able to, not only, this is a miracle, you're able to see the missing sugar. You're able to see the present sugar. You're able to see the absent sugar and make up for it by buying, a whole lot of them, because otherwise, this is the sugar craving. If this much craving, that many croissants I need to fill this craving. You were able to do that. So you're already doing this in your life. Yeah. And to a certain extent, you're doing it with regard to gold. Somebody gives you an ornament, especially if it's significant other. Is it made of gold? How many carats? In India, we don't deal with anything other than 22 carats. You don't do that. Gold is Lakshmi. This is what it is. 14 carat, the significant other says. And then 3 hours later is dinner time. What's for dinner? Carrots, uncooked. Take it out of the fridge and eat. How dare you bring me 14 carat? This is what the whole thing is. So you see, every Indian woman is a gold jnani. Yeah. She can see the purity. If you give a 14 carat, she will just throw it. She can see, even though she's not done anything. She's not a cosmetic jeweler. She's not a jeweler. She's not done anything in jewelry. She's not a metallurgist. But she knows from the shine, this doesn't look real. She can say, and throw it. She's a gold jnani, you see. Sugar jnani, we have. Gold jnani, correct? Yeah. And then, if you look carefully into the pot, what do you have? Where is that now? So we have, this is supposedly clay. I thought it was tofu silken cake. I was going to eat it yesterday. It looked just like that tofu cake that we have been talking about. But this is clay. So, we have, so if you look at it from the standpoint of pot, then this is a limited upadhi, useless. But from clay, it sustains this pot, it sustains this pot, it sustains the other pot. You see? All of them. This one not having it today. So, all of them are sustained by this very clay. From the standpoint of pot, how many parts? 3. From the standpoint of clay, how many clays? 1 clay. 1 clay?
Infinite.
How?
Still 1.
Still 1? 1, 2? No, because you're seeing through the upadhi. Correct? Yeah. So when you can do this for sugar, and when you can do this for clay, when you can do this for gold and all these other items, I'm sure that you can have other instances where you're able to see past the various limitations of the limiting adjunct called upadhi, the various containers in which, or the various shapes, names and forms in which the thing is coming. Okay, enough of playing with this. So, in which the thing is, manifesting, you are able to see beyond the name and form. Therefore, we maintain that it is still anayasena. It has no ayasa at all. Ayasa means what? Effort. There is no effort in knowing Brahman because you are already doing this. You are already doing that. Same thing you do with water. Supposing water is not available, you can drink something else, and then that also has water content. So like this, we are already doing that. So upekshya aupadhikan doshan, transcending, seeing beyond the fallacies of the various limitations presented by the name and the forms. Fallacies centered on the various limitations presented by the name and the form. Kim kuryat? What should you do? Upeksha upadhikan dosha. What comes next? No, upeksha upadhikan doshan. Grihyante. Vishayaha. Vishayaha means the objects of the senses. Vishinoti badhnati iti vishayaha. Those that bind are called vishayaha. So just like the objects are, the objects are sensed. No matter in which container they are packaged, you are able to see past the packaging. And then what? See, and connect to that object. You are able to do that. Grihyante, just as the objects are grasped. Vishayaha yatha grihyante upekshya aupadhikan doshan tatha, in the same manner, upekshya drishyam yad brahma, tad brahma, yad brahma, upekshya drishyam yad, brahma. And so the translation of this will be very awkward, so don't look at the translation, because all these underlying and all these problems come. It is also difficult to translate because it's a concept that we are trying to communicate. So upekshya drishyam. Drishyam means what? Everything that is seen. Seen includes, we use the eyes, but that's the primary sense organ, but it includes everything. Shrutam, everything. Drishyam, shrutam, seen, heard, everything. Upekshya, seeing through that, putting that aside, ignoring the name and form. Same thing. Touch wood. See, you've done this. Touch wood. You've not gone to the tree and redwood tree and hugged it. Correct? You don't have to go and do that. You can stay at home and say touch wood. Here I am upeksha, I'm doing upeksha of what? The name called table, the form called table, this particular design of this table that makes it different from this other table. All this I have let go of. Everything I have let go of. Upeksha. And having let go of that, I have immediately seen it for what it really is. What is it really? Wood. Even if I cut this down with a hatchet, what will I have? Wood. And if I cut it down with an axe and then make something else out of it, what will I have? Wood. If I take a carving knife and shave certain patterns out of it, what will I have? Still wood. This is what the whole thing is. So upeksha drishyam. So now from wood we have to go to what? Brahman. So you have to just transcend that in cognitively. The transcendence is cognitive. Knowing that every flower, when you say flower is, this is how the transcendence is done. You may say wood is easy. It's easy to say touch wood and see the wood in everything because actually I'm seeing the wood. But how to see Brahman in everything when I don't see Brahman? That's why I gave the sweet example. Yeah, you don't see the sugar, but you really see it. So here too, flower means what? It is asti. It shines, it becomes evident to me. And then what? it is lovable. But what if I had allergies? Chew, I kept doing. It's not lovable. But it is lovable. When? When is it lovable? For the person with hay fever and flower allergies? When is the flower lovable? Its absence is lovable. So all objects, asti bhati priyam, we saw this a few times ago. All objects are, are existent, and then they become evident, and then they what? What else? What's the third one? They are lovable, either through their presence or through their absence. Some things are more lovable within, through the absence, in-laws, outlaws, etc. So they are lovable because they live in a different town. And so like this, so when you're coming back to this, how to see Brahman in the flower? Flower is, correct? Yes? Flower shines. Yes?
Yes.
And flower is an object of love. So when I say flower is, then what? Flower is. The is doesn't belong to the flower. Because tomorrow this flower will not look like this. Day after tomorrow it will certainly not look like this. And afterwards I'll only be holding the stem. The petals will have gone away. So therefore what? So this is the changing is. Right? And is that keeps changing. So how do I know that this is a changing is? Huh?
The form changes.
The form changes. But how do I know the form changes?
You observe.
I am the observer. Therefore that means what? I am changeless. I am the changeless is. This is the changing is. How many is?
One.
Come on. I just said I am the I am the changeless is, and this is the changing is. How many is? Huh? One is still. How? Because this is really not separate from this is. Is it? No. Yeah, even though it may seem numerous, but really speaking, there is only one is. We have seen this many, many times, even in Dindima class. That one is happens to be the first two letters of the word Ishvara. I-S it starts. That is the ultimate is Ishvara. Ultimate is. Because everything, all the ises that are changing, because there is no room for two ises. Because is means, absolute, is means limitless, is means real, actually. This is the most compelling argument. Is means real. It is. It is means it is real. And then so there is the changing is, the changing reality, and then the unchanging is, that is I. How many realities? Only one thing, that is real. There cannot be two ises, because then both of them cannot be limitless. Both of them will become limited. So then the changeless is able to observe the morphing, all the changes in the changing names and forms. So therefore, the isness of the flower, the existence of the flower, does not belong to the flower. That the flower shines in its beautiful colors and shape and size and form. Also, that shining aspect of the flower doesn't belong to that chit. Sat, first was sat, isness doesn't belong to the flower. And then what? Chit, the fact that it is alive and it shines and it, it advertises that this is flower, it becomes evident, also does not belong to the flower. Because the flower is not self-evident. I am the one telling that this is a flower, correct? And then finally, the Ananda, the limitlessness, certainly doesn't belong to the flower. This flower is not that flower, so it is limited. And so, the source of the Sat Chit Ananda is Atma, Brahman, that is the only is. So the best way to look at it is that this flower is borrowing heavily from Brahman. Yeah. Is leaning on Brahman. That's why we say Brahmalina, in Sanskrit. So, different meaning. Absorbed. Lina means absorbed. That's different. So, this flower is just what? Then what is belonging to the flower? Isness is gone, and that shiningness is gone. The capacity to become evident is gone. The limitlessness is not the belonging to the flower. Then what is belonging to the flower? What is this flower then?
Name and form.
Name and form. Nama Rupa belongs to Jagat, and then the first three belong to Brahman. This is what it is. Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. Jagad Rupam Tato Dvayam. So the last two belong to Jagat. So basically when I say flower is, that means what? Is plus a beautiful name called flower. Daisy, dahlia, whatever it is. And then a beautiful form called flower. That's all it is. So the is goes up. That's how they had this idea of Halloween. Because it's the is, they got it from Ishvara, dressed up as so many names and forms. Yeah, for Ishvara, every day is Halloween. For me also, because dressed like this. Yeah. A walking pumpkin. And moving pumpkin. So, this is what the whole thing is. So for Ishvara, every day is Halloween. Bhagavan wakes up with great excitement and says, what shall I dress up as today? And then, the scientists say, new discovery. A new species has been discovered. And then we Vedantins go, aha, Ishvara, I have seen your new costume. This is how you have dressed up as today. Fantastic. So the whole world is Ishvara, the whole Jagat, the whole entire universe manifesting of various names and forms is Ishvara in a masquerade party. Everything is Ishvara, everyone is Ishvara, everything you like is of course Ishvara, everything you don't like especially is Ishvara, and it's Ishvara, Ishvara, Ishvara all the way. So do I have to peel off the name and form in order to see Ishvara? No, did you have to tear apart the croissant to find the sugar? Go back to that example. No, even though it was barricaded by that glass, it was behind that glass counter, I could still see the sugar. I could measure the sugar, and I could see that I needed 3 of them or 2 of them minimum in order to substitute the craving that I had. You see what a jnani it is? So similarly, I don't have to break the pot and powder the pot to get the clay. I don't have to melt the ornament to get gold. Similarly, I don't have to destroy the Jagat to see Ishvara. Wherever the mind goes, there is that oneness. Yatra yatra mano yati. Tatra tatra samadhayaha. Beautiful. I think we should take a break. We'll see in about 20 minutes. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
That's one to repeat Yatra Yatra.
Mano yati.
Mano yati.
Tatra tatra samadhayaha.